So apparently, she was off leash in Central Park, and she aggressively ran up to a teenager riding a scooter and barked aggressively even when the teenager dropped the scooter and stopped moving.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is what I want. This is a nice point to make, okay? So now we're like, scooters are the thing, right? And then we're like, well, but what if it was a skateboard? Then a skateboard is the thing. But the thing is if those things didn't exist, it would happen in something. What is a startle? I don't know what that is. And my position of the pack also, right? So she went into that defensive mode because the thing startled her, and then that's where the brain hopped. The brain hopped over there. If the brain got corrected for hopping over there, then the next time would be, I'm about to go there, then I'm gonna hesitate, not go there, get a good girl. Now I know to just chill out. So it's not necessarily, it will become now scooters because the association is I barked, and barking in my head as a dog is what stopped the situation. So barking works, so I use barking again when I feel this way, right? So that particular situation made it feel that way. It's not scooters though, because she wasn't startled.
You just rode a scooter by her?
So it could be a scooter outside in that context because naturally when I startled to the thing that coincidentally was a scooter, I went into this defensive drive and I barked and that worked. So now next time I'm in that situation, my brain would go there because that works, right? So that's how that happens. So it's not, we hear this a lot. They're afraid of this or that, but the thing is it's just the brain got startled and it switched over to this drive, or this response. That response was successful, and now coincidentally, the scooter or whatever it may be is the thing that could set off this response. But it's really just, how do I react when I'm startled like that?
Yeah.
In the presence of my pack, or where I am in that, So that's really what it is, because the fact that
they said doorbells and door knocking will send her off the deep end.
Right. Again, this is coming through, it's a natural response. That's what she did naturally. But
look,
then,
you see it right there. Did you see it? She closed her mouth and her ears perked up.
Even if there was somebody here, she's not going to bark.
No, because we've changed her position in the pack.
That's right.
She no longer thinks it's an acceptable response because she is relying on us. And she knows that if she tries to overstep her bounds in our pack, she'll get corrected for it, just like another dog would to another dog in their pack in the wild.
That's right. And the interesting thing is that I have yet to correct her for barking.
No, she's never.
Right? Because she already knows that...
Actually, take that back. You did.
When was that?
The contractor. She barked one time. You corrected her. The Larry and Sons guy.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Now I remember that guy.
Yep.
Yes, she did. And guess what it was? A startle. Because we came into the kennel room and they didn't even see us coming. And she let out a little bark. But I didn't correct her physically.
No.
I turned around and I said, no.
Yep.
And then she just stopped. And then she hasn't done it since. And we had another contractor after that come
and she
back
did
a
not
day
bark.
later, and she never made a noise. So what I'm saying is she's a good example. A lot of dogs will have this natural response, natural tendency to try these behaviors, and then they're successful. And they're self-rewarding because they're expressive. So if it's not tied to a immediate aversive and then redirect, don't do that, go do this, it becomes the behavior. And this is what we do when we see new people. This is what we do when we're startled. This is what we do. And so it's not that I'm nervous of these people. I'm not seeing that with her. And I don't even think it's on nervous of this. This is more like, yay, this is my opportunity to exert myself in this position. Much like a dog who sits behind a fence and waits for dogs to walk by.
Yep.
They'll watch people walk by, nah. There goes a car, nah, dog. They're waiting, they can't wait because it's one of their events throughout the day where they can express. So I see her wanting to do these things. Which in the pack, of course, we got our pack, we say no to it by correcting it. We can't just say verbally no. I was able to do that because I've given her physical corrections via the e-collar through training. So then a few days, however many days she was here, I said no, it worked. But that's only because I didn't have a collar on her. If I had a collar on her, I would have absolutely corrected that because that is what stops behaviors from happening more tomorrow, right? More in the future. If punishment is going to decrease the behavior, okay? Rewards are going to increase it. It's self-rewarding. So if we don't punish, it increases on its own.
Yes, that's what people don't understand.
And so it's not this, it's how do you respond? Like when she's a puppy, if I was handling her, we'd be going through how do you respond when you're nervous, teaching her it's to follow my direction. how to respond when you feel this way or that way, teaching her is to follow. So they learn everything is to just calm down and follow my direction when you're shifting through these modes, right? And these emotional, whatever the physiological feelings you're feeling in this particular situation. Am I feeling like I'm nervous? Am I feeling like I need to be protective? Okay, now that you feel that, no to those responses. Not no to the feeling. Yeah, you could feel that way, but don't respond to it, because if you respond to it, correction, and then I'm going to send you away from the situation. And that goes for the door, right? Knock, 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 somebody comes in, or actually, knock, 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 bark.
Rush the door.
What do? As soon as she barks, so she's breaking a rule, right? So the rule, you have to have underlying rules that you believe in and that you hold her accountable for. And one of them is don't bark. Don't bark.
Yeah, don't bark unless
don't
there's
make noise.
An intruder in the middle of the night,
Yeah,
which
right.
never happens.
It's not going to happen. The likelihood of it happening to you, so. And by the way, even when that does happen, dogs know that barking, they know it's different.
Yes.
Right?
Instincts kick in.
So, knock, 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 bark. We're not going to go to directing. We're going to go to correcting the bark and then directing. This is a common mistake. Knock, 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 bark. Lila, place, go to place, go to place. Wrong.
Bark, 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 place.
Oh, yeah, right. So it's correct and then direct. Correct and then direct. Now previously we couldn't correct because we didn't have a tool. So now this changes the game, right? Bark, 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 correct, then direct. Go to place or whatever. Get out of here. Go lay down. Whatever. Then knock, knock, knock. Quiet.
Good.
Right? And then, right? And then open the door. And then open the door. Bark, bark, bark. Excuse me just a second. Correct. Quiet. Sorry, what were you saying? No bark? Good.
Good.
Right? We're done with it? Good job. And the best way to do this is set up. So
Yeah.
if you can have a friend help you out, or there's two of you, right? So you just leave for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like set it up. When someone's coming home from work or whatever, text the other one so that we can say, let's do a set up, knock on the door, to get her to bark so that you have the opportunity to then tie an aversive to it so that she doesn't want to do it again tomorrow. She starts adjusting her behavior. I hear the sound, I don't alert to it, I relax. Instead of I hear the sound, this is my opportunity to get some exercise and to have some fun, right? And to be protective, right? So she won't bark. She won't bark if somebody comes to the door. So
No.
and the thing is with that contractor, they were all in the counter room. They all had their radio on. It was all silent in there, and all of a sudden we bust in. It startled multiple dogs. She was the only one that barked.
That's right.
But they all kind of said, whoa, be right? Because all of a sudden we just come in and the big contractor comes in with his very low voice. And so she barked. I didn't have a tool on her. I said no.
Your influence.
My influence from our
Prior
relationship
days. Yes.
prior, she was quiet without a tool. But that's only because I had corrected her in the past. And ideally, I would have had a tool on her so I could correct it, because that's just going to make her let it go quicker.
Yeah.
All right, so the thing that she was missing before here, and she's kind of older, she's like 3, right?
Yeah.
Is just an effective punisher.
Yeah.
So, because if you have one of those while you're raising them, you can kind of raise them and here they go try that, and you just say, don't do that, good for not doing that. Don't do that, good job. And as you're going through your days and years, and then by the time they hit an adult, they kind of had those lessons. By the time they hit an adult, they don't get effective punishment, they just get like restrained, right? Like we have a leash, she'll come with us because we have a leash.
Yes.
Or she'll go inside because we have a leash.
Yes.
Or she'll follow lures like treats and stuff.
She's eating something off the ground. Drag her away.
Right. Or again, just like distract them, lure them. Well, all that might work to a degree, but the problem is we bypass, the one thing we need is, how do you respond when I say not to do something, even if you want to, right? Or to do something even when you don't want to. Those are the two conversations that we don't want to go around. We want to say, oh, here's a chance to have one of those conversations. She's not listening, right? Or that's pretty much it. She does something she's not supposed to. Here's my opportunity to teach her that she's not going to want to do that again next time we're in the situation. And next time we are in that situation, and I notice she doesn't do the thing, here's my opportunity to tell her how good she's doing.
Look, she's
Right?
totally regulated herself.
Good.
She went from anxious panting to quiet and relaxed.
Yeah. It's
And
good. It's really
duration.
good. She
Wonderful
knows how to
job.
chill out. So this will stabilize the mind. This will actually create a mind. A dog, not only are they easy to live with, that way, but they feel comfortable in their own skin,
Yes.
right? All we see is like, right? Whether that energy is being used to bark or it's used to jump and like to even getting pet, she uses a lot of energy for that. She's jumping on you and stuff. She might settle when she's up here, but we want her to find this space,
yeah,
especially post correction or direction.
yes,
So if I say, even if I say shh, which is my way of saying relax, I don't like whatever you're thinking or doing or about to do, don't do that instead, right? Or she gets corrected for doing something that she's not supposed to do that instead. And when I say that, I'm talking about the mind.
yeah,
That's not a down right there that she's doing. I mean, she is downing, but she's committing to being passive,
yeah,
and it results in a down. You know what I mean? Or some type of really relaxed posture, right? This right here, looking at the thing, I'm ready to make decisions on how to be interactive with the environment, right? All I have to do is see a dog think about being interactive, and I can say no. And they understand that it means that's not for you, because my entry into the relationship, other than showing that I'm safe, is also saying on the hierarchy, I get first access.
yeah.
And that goes for people, food, toys, anything. So when I say no, it's because I want it, and that lands better. So if you want it, let it go, because I get first access. If you try to go up on the thing, the steak that I'm trying to eat and I'm hungry, you're gonna get corrected in the pack, right? Same thing with my guests. If you try to decide how to deal with it, you get in trouble. So we just got to be able to say no, give a correction and some direction, and then move on. All right, if we can do that, she's gonna be great. She's gonna be great. There is an adjustment period when she goes home, because here she doesn't have a history of doing the bad behaviors, so she's not even really starting it, right? At home, she has a history, so she's likely to try it. That's why we send you home doing certain things, setups to get it out of the way in the first week. So she's gonna need to be set up, make the mistake, corrected, directed, like give her some affection, good girl. And then just go through these certain things, these certain things we struggle with. And then it goes away. Mm-hmm. She knows the new response, she understands the new consequences, and then her brain will literally adjust her responses, and that'll become the default, rather than the barking being the default. Okay?
Good girl.
Oh, yeah, because you can't even live with that.
No.
You just can't live
That's
with
why
that.
they sent her here.
Yeah. Lila. Break.
Good girl. Good girl. Look at her.
Yeah.